Today, guys, I want to talk about my transformation. So, what and when everything started. Well, if you don't know me, my name is Bruno. I start training when I was 13 to 14 years old. This was in the actual gym because before I did taekwondo, swimming, always been active. So I was raised in a farm, so always active, dirt bikes, riding horses. So always being a strong kid. So I remember being the biggest kid in my classroom. I mean, the biggest one, not fat, but the strongest one. So I think I have pretty good genetics for being strong and flexible and be able to do a lot of things, like a lot of activities. Anyway, why I start training? Because of my brother used to bully me. Yep. He used to bully me because he was a little bit skinnier. I wasn't fat, but I was fatter than him. So he that was the little thing he needed to bully me. The only thing. So he had his little two packs on his belly and he used to bully me. Nah, you're fat. You're not going to play with us. You're this, you're that, you're fat. You're not going to play. So I used to get really frustrated and pissed off. But I'm talking about crying. I used to go out, cry, and then I'm like, I'm going to change this situation. And here we go. Who is the six pack guy now, eh? If you're watching this. Anyway, I went to the gym. And the thing is, I wasn't just going to the gym. I was going to the gym, come back home, and study every single day, everything I could find. So let's say I type on Google, how to lose body fat. Bang, 13 years old. And all those articles will come up. Diet, nutrition, hormones, sleep, training, how to train. And I found the bodybuilders. Because the thing that I really wanted to was to look good. Not to be stronger. I wanted to look good first. My body, like the first thing I'm gonna say, my strength will come up later. But I want the look. So they look at me and they're like, he's not fat anymore. So that's why I really want. So that's why I started going to the gym. So hit the gym every single day. But I was in a rush. That was the bad thing that I did, the mistake that I did, because I was rushing too much. So I used to cut carbs, trying to do this bodybuilding training, a lot of volume, and I couldn't handle, my body couldn't handle. So that's when I messed a little bit. So I went too much, rushed into it too much. But that was great because I had a lot of knowledge. At very, very top advanced knowledge for a basic, young, very basic child. That was the mistake I did. Anyway, training every single day, 5 days a week. But going to parties every weekend, drinking every weekend. Yeah, I started drinking with 14, 13 years old. You know, all that drugs, and I started trying all the different stuff. So I was going to the gym, beautiful, doing my diet, low carb, high protein, everything. Sodium, we used to cut the sodium. Imagine a kid cutting sodium. You don't need it. So Monday through Friday, going to the gym, working hard, working very hard, diet, water, beautiful. And on the weekends, drinking and not eating enough. So I was getting results more than 80% and 90% of the people because of the knowledge and because of the 80% that I was going to the gym and giving it all with knowledge. And I had pretty good results, even though I messed up a little bit with this rushing too much. So I remember I started going to the gym and then I stopped buying some supplements. I remember I was hiding my supplements from my parents. I used to hide them in my closet. Anyway, I did that for a long period of time actually, because I was such a young kid, and if I get any money from my dad, I used to go to the chemist, buy some supplements, and just hide them away. So yeah, and I always was very curious about everything. So very curious. So if I saw someone in the gym that was bigger than me or it looked good, I would come up to that person and ask questions and become friend of that person. And one of the reason I'm here in Australia right now, and one of the reason I am here in Australia right now is because I came up to a guy in the gym that he looked so good, and I was like, wow, I need to talk to this guy. I need to be friend of this guy so this guy can teach me things that things that he knows, so I can learn from him. So I came up to him, this guy that he was just he just finished university, and he came back to his town where we used to train together. And I came up to him. He was like 26 years old by the time, and I was 16 years old, and I used to train with him. And I had this mentality, this dog in me that I could train with him. And I had the knowledge, but I realized I had even more knowledge than him, but I didn't have the time to practice. He had the time and experience by himself. I had the knowledge, but no experience. So just knowledge and no experience doesn't really matter that much. So I was just like asking questions. Sometimes I say something and he realized I really knew something about it. So we started training together, hang out together, and drinking together during the weekends as well. And one day this guy said, I'm going to Australia. I was like, what? My training partner is going to Australia. He's going to leave me. And that's where I was like, far out, I'm going too. I remember I was 16, 15, and I had this dream in my life. I had this message. I was like, I'm going too. So I couldn't wait to finish high school and just get my driver's license. I don't even know how to say it. My driver's license, and go to Australia. So here I am after 5 years since I got here. Anyway, I came to Australia and I kind of stopped training a little bit. Never stopped, but I was like just partying, just meeting just discovering this new world of like so many things. I was living by myself with people, so I started drinking, smoking, and then drugs as well. So I wasn't really focused. But I remember when I got here, the only thing I was eating was tuna and bread. It was so cheap. I found a lifestyle. I couldn't maintain my body fat low, but it was a really poor diet. If you think about macro and micronutrients, it was really poor. Basically bread, tuna, and mayo, 99% fat free. I was eating that every single day, in every meal. Sometimes here and there I would buy some meat and cook some beef meats when I want to, because I was like lazy. I want to get something nice and fast, and always drinking sugar-free stuff and never going and buy normal stuff, because I did this diet for such a long period of time. So my mind is so disciplined with food. Anyway, here in Australia, so 1 year like training, half-assing it, and then my second year of Australia, I moved to this Australian's house. That's when I start putting some serious amount of weight on, because I was working in construction, and I start working with some big motherfuckers, some people from New Zealand, and those guys are thick, man. Those Maori guys, they eat a lot and they're thick. So that's when I start eating more, training heavier, and that's where I put a big amount of weight on, a big portion, a big amount of meat on my body. And that's when I realized that I was like, there we go, we need food. So my body changed dramatically, and I got so much stronger. And everything was better because I really need that food to build my joints, to be stronger, because I'm a tall guy, and being skinny and weak, it's not a thing, man. You gotta be strong to function, especially for a big guy. I'm meant to be strong and big because of the size of my bones. So that's when I start putting a serious amount of weight, and I put a bit of fat because there was so much food, and I was eating a lot of shit. And that's when I get a little bit depressed as well, because I was getting fat, a lot of pimples, eating so much junky bread. Everything I saw, I eat it. Everything in the fridge, bread, butter, everything, and beers as well. Sometimes I would drink beers. So that was the time I really got to the bottom, and I was a little bit depressed. But that's when I realized like I need to change my mindset again, because I was going down. I was going working with construction and everything, and I was like, I'm really going down to this place. Am I going to work in construction for the rest of my life? Because this is really easy. I just wake up, go to work, and but this is a subject for another video. So anyway, I was drinking a lot. I was drinking beer, and then I was like, fuck, I can't do this anymore. So I start, now let's clean this diet now. Let's get back to the grind. Let's clean everything. Let's do it properly. I'm doing it too dirty, bad. So I cut everything off again, start cleaning all my diet, and that's when I start seeing the muscles that I put on. And since then, just getting better and better. So a big advice for me to you, if you're young, if you're like 15 to 18 years old, man, don't be scared to eat. Eat the right stuff, but don't be scared to be fat or to eat, man. It's a bad mistake you're gonna do, because you're gonna be missing on a lot of good things in life. I remember I couldn't eat. I didn't eat anything. Yeah, of course, I built a strong mindset, but I shouldn't. I'm supposed to be bigger now, stronger, if I ate a little bit more back then. Anyway, I can't say that because I am who I am right now because of what I did in the beginning, in the past. So I was when COVID hit us here in Australia, I was training at home, man. So the only thing I had was two pair of dumbbells, and I was doing pull-ups from the roof. You know, those timbers that holds the roof. I was doing pull-ups on that, and I built a pretty damn good physique from those things. Just two dumbbells. I remember it was light dumbbells, so I was doing very slow and very controlled every single rep, trying to squeeze and stretch everything. That's when I realized that if you really want to change something, you can with little amount of resources. So there was tough times because everything was shut down. The only thing I had was those pair of dumbbells, but I was living a pretty miserable life, I would say. The only thing I was doing actually good for me was actually training and going to work, basically. That's when a mentor came and he was like, man, if you change your mindset, you can change your life. And that's when boom, that's what I'm talking about. And my eyes was shining, light up straight away. And I was like, wow, man, what this guy's talking about. I can change my mindset and it can change my life. That's when I start changing everything, reading those books. But this is a subject for another video. Comment below if you want to know how to change your mindset, because I know the stuff to change your mindset, brother. Because I changed mine and it changes. And now I help people change their mindset as well. Anyway, this was pretty much what I did. And then when COVID was like ending the lockdown here and the gym was opening again, I started going to the gym, and that's when my results was like, because I was doing my best with just a pair of dumbbells and the roof. And when the gyms were open again, I started going to the gym and I had all those equipments and I was loving it so much because there was so many machines. And that's when my results went boom, 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 boom. And Yeah, even though I was partying here and there, smoking cigarettes here and there, I was getting better and better and better. In 2021, 2022, I was really focused on my training. I was like, now I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna help people with this fitness thing because I'm good at it. I decided that I changed, I switched that mindset and I start helping people. That's when I really focus on it. And then I built my own gym. So when I built my own gym, my own personal training studio, that's when things were getting really serious. I was studying every day. Again, back always, I always study about all the top Gs, all the top guys, the bodybuilders, all the top coaches in the world. I was always watching them. So I pretty much know pretty much all the techniques, or most of them. And things was getting pretty serious, and then I learned how to work with people as well, and it was great. And since then I just been growing. So that was a thing for me. If you like, I was always very curious, so I was always talking to people. If I see this big guy in the gym, the biggest guy, I would go there and break his ego down. So if you want to break a ego of a big guy that's walking around in the gym, go there and ask for advice. He's gonna melt it. He's gonna melt it away. And even though when I got here in Australia, I didn't know that the personal trainers here in Australia, it's not like in Brazil. There is a personal trainer in the gym. He helps everyone in the gym. Here, if there is a personal trainer in the gym, to get advice from him, you gotta hire him separately, private, personal. So I would go to personal trainers and ask them advice. He was like, you asking me this advice, but if you want to know more, you got to pay me. You know that, right? I can't give you just advice like that for free. Anyway, I would ask everyone. If I see someone doing better than me, I would go up to them and say, hey, bro, what are you up to? What's your favorite exercise? What do you do this? How do you do that? What do you eat here? What do you do? So I'm always asking questions, so my brain's always expanding. So the biggest advice for you, don't be afraid to eat and ask questions. If you keep asking questions, you're going to prosper in everything you do in your life. Guys, that's it for today. I think that this video is already pretty long. 20 minutes video, it's already too long. I'm going to try cut a little bit. So that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe, help me. Like I help you to grow, giving you all this advice, you can help me back. And comment below what do you think, what else do you want to learn, what else do you want to know about my journey, and anything anything you are struggling with, let me know. I'm going to help you.